Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
Here in this phenomenal race, Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin to lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to PSGL. We're here for round 3 around the Silverstone circuit. My name is Jacob, taking you guys through this for this evening. Joined alongside me for this evening, as always, is Mr. Rando Was Taken. Oshin, how are you doing this evening?
He's getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better at the pronunciation. I'll have taught you every Irish name by the end of it. But yeah, we are here tonight around what some would call the home of racing, the Silverstone Grand Prix. And if we had anything to tell from last week, we are in for a good show. A circuit which promotes fantastic racing, fantastic qualifying, fantastic races. So we should be in for a good one. Hopefully we don't have 4 safety cars, because I am still losing sleep over that Interlagos Grand Prix I had to do by myself. But yeah, we're in for a good one, and I believe you have the standings on yourself, J. Cole, so will you go for them?
Yeah, so as I say, or as Oshin was just saying, as I said, last week was actually an absolute thriller around Bahrain. Usually Bahrain always does provide some pretty good racing, and Silverstone always does the same as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one's going to go this evening. A lot of quick drivers around here, and just reading out the standings from what we've got from last week, it was Damien that ended up taking the win and taking the championship lead. Now 2 points up ahead of, I still think, we don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Kaihilu. I think that's probably, that's how I'm just going to go with how I'm going to say his name anyway. But he's been a consistent third place twice, which is now promoting him up to second in the standings. Coolman is in third with 17 points, with GN in fourth with 16. Rara in 5th with 12 points, Max Power in 6th with 8, tied with Ruddy in 7th with 8 points as well. Malia Pease and Mika in 8th and 9th with 7 points to their name, and Marek, the top reserve, with 5 points to his name in 10th position. Hazara in 11th with Frankis in 12th, Max Rowe in 13th, Carl Scout in 14th, Fraser in 15th. The top 15 all picking up points. Our non-point scorers in the full-time drivers are Givano, Lakitu, Lewis, Oshin, Dutch Missile and Andreo. So hopefully tonight could be their night for a few of these guys to maybe pick up some points. Silverstone, it's very difficult. As weird as it sounds, it's very difficult to retire around here. When I say that, I mean the walls aren't exactly as close to the circuit as other circuits. So if we see any retirements, majority of them I would suspect either being in the pit lane or just contact between two of the cars where it was heavy enough to actually make one of them DNF. But yeah, like you were saying, Oshin, I think it's going to be quite a very heavy race with a lot of these guys. It just also depends on the weather as well.
Yeah, it's Silverstone. It's known for its changeable conditions, as we saw IRL in Spa. But just quickly go through the reserves. Tonight we have Gridlick and IJs making their first appearances tonight. Marek, who's basically become essentially a full-time driver, races again, and they are coming in for Max Power, Lewis, and Mika. And it's looking dry for now, but there is an overcast in the air. We're waiting on one more driver potentially coming in to be confirmed if he could come in. Bit of issues on his end, but hopefully we have a full grid in tonight. But yeah, there's some clouds in the sky. Could that sprinkle some rain? And if that is, everyone needs to get out immediately for their laps.
I get the feeling that there is possibly going to be some sort of rain coming in this qualifying. So yeah, I suspect we're going to start to see a lot of these guys make their way out ASAP. And our first driver is going to be the ET8 driver of Andero, I think that's how you say his name as well. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he's going to end up doing for this evening. Yet to pick up any points. The places that he's ended up actually finishing so far in this is, well, he finished 13th in Brazil and then didn't actually race last week in Bahrain. So he hasn't really had a chance to prove himself as of yet. And hopefully for today in Silverstone, might be the opportunity for him to try and get himself some sort of points. Like I say, anything can happen around Silverstone. It's the heart of racing, like you were saying earlier on. So we'll see if he's able to maybe pick some stuff up. One other thing I do just want to quickly touch on was the stewards' decisions from last week. As you remember, or as you may not remember, Hazara and Fraser both coming together, which put Fraser out of the top three when he was following the other two around. Both Hazara and Fraser having a 5-second time penalty added to their names. So meant that Hazara dropped down from 4th to 7th and Fraser from 8th to 10th. So yeah, there are the position drops, just in case anybody was wondering what had happened throughout the entirety of that week, throughout all of that. So, but yeah, I think we're going to be ready to get some laps underway here, Oshin. I don't know if you want to take us through with the ET8 Williams of Andera.
Yeah, quickly knows like almost everyone is at the pit lane, so maybe there is rain coming, but we'll focus on that later as we'll go on board with Andrea, who's just about to set up his lap, going through the Vale chicane and the club corner to start his lap through the Hamilton straight. Very short straight, no DRS here yet as he comes down to the first corner, flat out through Abbey. Now keep it flat through Farm, and now difficult braking zone for Village. Goes a bit deep there, comes up to the loop, a very awkward corner. So progressively going down on the draw, you come to the first of two DRS zones going through the Wellington Straight, or hang on, I always get the mix up. I think this is Wellington, but you come down to end the first sector, 27.2, and now come down through Bucklands, a beautiful corner. And now Luffield and Woodcote, two medium corners. You're progressively going down for the throttle, and you're going now down for the old pit straight. Has been used pit straight since 2011, I believe, and now you come down to the infamous cost. Will he take it flat? Yes, he does, but the rear was very uncompliant for there, and now he come down through probably the most satisfying section scores. Marcus and Beckett's goes flat from and Valdez off Beckett's. So that is him done. He's off with it's an Aston Martin. It's Gian, the man who won the opening Grand Prix. So going over him, he goes through Chapel. Now comes up the hanger straight here, the second DRS zone. What personally is my favourite corner here is Stowe corner, uphill braking. First going for the throttle, immediately going downhill now to the last couple corners, going through the Vale chicane here. Awkward braking and traction zone, need to be progressive with the throttle, no more soft grip there. Club corner now, finish the lap, 27.1.
Yeah, beautiful lap from Gian to get things kicked off. A 25.1 of Sheen, doing a 25.87 tenths of a second off of Gian. Of course, Gian, you've got to remember, did take the first pole position out No, he didn't take the first pole position, sorry. He took
No.
the first win out, sorry. That's what I meant. He took the first win out in Brazil originally. So, yeah, Gian, not necessarily a force to be reckoned with. The only person that's actually sat on pole both times so far in these races is Rara, yeah. And I believe the NLR driver, he's just making his way up towards Stowe now as well. So I'll stick on board with the Alpine and just see what he's able to do. Coming around the Stowe corner now as he makes his way up towards the final chicane. And we'll see what he's able to do on this lap. Just shifting it down into fourth. And coming around the penultimate and the final corner, Damien goes on to P2, 3 thousandths of a second behind his teammate. And that is Rara straight up top. 25.104. Besting up ahead of Gian. And maybe he's looking for his third pole position in a row. Hopefully for himself, though, he's able to actually convert this from a pole to a win this time around.
Yeah, so far it's been Aston Martin who won both races. It was David who won last week, right?
Yeah, Damien won last week, yeah.
I'm thinking I'm wrong for a second. Hold on. I remember.
No, it was Damien won last week, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was Chai for some reason, but no, he's podium both weeks. So, yeah, both wins have come from Aston Martin drivers, but both poles have come from Alpine drivers, so that's looking like that's going to be the constructors' fight anyway. Yeah. Let's see who's... As Frankish on the Ferrari is going to finish this lap. So Ferrari here tonight, 26-0. It's not looking like it's a good day for the Scuderia.
No, it certainly does not. And yeah, as you say, the other Ferrari, the Kitu, I think, just trying his best to get into the session, but for some reason the game is just not allowing him to. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, and hopefully he can get in ASAP. Ruddy, I think, being one of the only final ones to complete a lap, as well as Andera, who's gone back out on a fresh set of the soft compound tyre. He's just making his way up towards Stowe corner now. It did look a little bit wobbly going through Maggots and Beckett's and coming out of Capel as well, but as I say, coming in towards the final chicane now, is he going to be able to try and be up there within the top set of the guys? The NLR driver just making his way around the final corner onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight now, and it's 25.3 into P5 despite having that wobble. So yeah, there's definitely time in that full ruddy to be able to get up ahead, maybe even ahead, dare I say, of his NLR teammate up in top.
I think there's definitely 3 attempts in that lap minimum. He had a big moment off Beckett, had to save the car, so definitely has those 3 attempts in him. So he's definitely one to watch out for the potential pole, but I think only Andrero's on a lap at the moment. If Valde is first run for Max and Beckett, so hoping to not repeat the same fate again. I think he's slightly quicker this time rather than his first run, 27.1. I think it was 27.2 the last time. Yeah, takes a nice bit of curve there off Woodco. Runs now for the old pit straight. He has the Mercedes of Roddy coming up. Hopefully Roddy gets out of his way and doesn't impede the Williams. It's now come through where he and Valde last time through Max and Beckett. Yeah, definitely keeps it that time now for Chapel and should hopefully keep a lap here, as for some reason this game you can go miles wide off Stowe and keep your lap. So but hope Andreo doesn't do that as he goes through Stowe now. Takes it very nicely as we have Lakitu finally get in, so we'll have both Ferraris in here. So now Andreo's going to complete the lap. Takes a lot of curve off Vale, have to be cautious with the throttle there, but goes up to P2. And I think that would have been pole if he didn't take that much curve off Vale. He had to be cautious with the throttle. For 4 drivers within 600ths of each other, Roddy's definitely up in the equation. I was still waiting for Grilic and Kuhlman to lap, so this could be a very tight qualifying.
Yeah, no, it certainly could be. And like I was just about to say the same thing as you, Andera definitely could have been on pole had he not hit that sausage curb coming out of the Vale chicane as well. So yeah, he's definitely got a bit more time in that. Same with Ruddy, as we were saying, you know, as they're going through Maggots and Beckett's, he had that little bit of a little wobble out of there. So definitely time for the NLR driver to be making up. I think Mr. J's, I think I say again, I say that, I think I say his name, is going to be our first one to start the second runs for the qualifying. First set of runs though, Rara up top again doesn't necessarily surprise me. We saw it originally as well for the first 2 rounds, as I say, on pole position. up on pole once again, but I don't know how much longer that is going to last now that everyone's out on their second runs. Of course, he's now out on his out lap for a second run as well, but I suppose only time will tell. But as I say, on board with Jays now for his second lap, sitting down in 14th position with a 25.699 for the Mercedes so far. Going up in towards turn number 1, around the 50-meter board, you want to be turning into that. Keeping it in 7th gear, a little bit of a wobble coming out of turn number 1 as well for Jays, probably not ideal. Just before the 50-meter board, you want to be breaking down into 3rd, taking that way too deep was the VRT driver, but looks like you might still be carrying on for the time being. It does look like he is, so up towards the Wellington straight now. DRS wide open for him, and at the end of the first sector is 300ths up on his time, despite having that tiny little wobble going deep into turn 3. So quite an interesting one there, but we'll see if he's able to make even more improvements on that now through Luffield and Woodcock corner and up towards the infamous Cops corner as well. Is he going to try and take this flat out in 8th gear? Let's have a keep an eye on it. He certainly is. Make sure to keep it valid in the white lines as well. It does beautifully. Now through the very fast corners of Maggots and Beckett's and through to Chapel as well. Again, taken very nicely as well. Coming out towards the end of Sector 2, a 10th and a bit up on his time. This will put him at least by Kyle Scarrett. It will put him at least ahead of Dutch Missile. He's only 3,000 a second behind him, but we'll see if Jays is able to get up ahead of Kyle Scarrett and that little group of Giovanni and Maxro as well. Of course, Giovanni sitting at the bottom of the top 10. And it is only the top 10 that do score points in PSGL. So up towards the line comes Jays, and it is into P9 of 25.432, 7 thousandths of a second up ahead of Fraser. Very nice lap from him indeed.
There's coming next going to be Maliapis, who was slightly up his time, enough to get him ahead of Roddy. Can he get a bit more to get up ahead of Chai? It'll be a big axe for him to challenge the top 4, but here comes Maliapis to the line, just behind Chayu. Definitely time in there. So I see who's coming next. But yeah, that was a really scruffy first sector by Jays, but definitely made it up. So I think if he can work for that first sector as Maxwell takes pole position provisionally, first man into the 25 zeros. But Rara's coming up to Stowe now. What's his? Don't have a sector split for him, so we're going blind with Rara, the man who's taken 2 for 2 when it comes to qualifying. He's only got second place to his name now, but he's definitely the qualifying king of this tier. Comes through club now. He's going to be in the 24s. Gene's going to be next. He's almost a 10th up. Can he challenge Paul? Can he split the Alpines? The man who won the opening round of the season coming to the line now. What's it going to be? Through club, and it's going to be, he's going to split the Alpines, but still in the 25s.
Yeah, very good time from Gia. Maxo as well, as you said, going up into P3. Giovanni jumping up as well into P5, and Griglet finally putting the time on the board in the Alfa Romeo up to P8. A lot of guys making their way through Stowe. Hopefully they're not impeding each other. I think Ruddy's going to be our next one across the line. He was 100th up on his time. So again, it won't put an improvement, but maybe the Sector 3 is where he's going to do improvement most. And it's up to P7 with a 25.187. Very good lap time from him. And I think a couple others coming across the line as well very soon.
His grid is ridiculously close right now. You have P4 in the 25 ones, and then you have to go down to P12 to get to the end of the 25 twos. It's ridiculously close, this grid. But still, no matter how close this grid is, you have Rara on pole. It's currently doing some lamboing, actually. I think someone went up there. I think that was Andreo.
Cool, man.
Someone... Go, man, off. Yeah, so everyone's still lap now.
Believe Damien might be the last one. He's 2.5 tenths up on his time. This will put him actually on pole ahead of Rara. Around the final chicane now, he comes up towards the line. Is this going to beat out the Alpine of Rara? No, it doesn't. He must have made some sort of mistake in that final sector, because he even said he was 2 tenths up. That would have beaten ahead of Rara. So, yeah, Damien probably not going to be too happy with that. But ahead of his teammate in P2, these two are absolutely jousting it out last week. And I get the feeling we're going to be seeing the same thing this evening.
Yeah, unfortunately missing from that is Caillou, but you have Alpine and Aston Martin taking their hold of F5 here in PSGL PlayStation. Clear dominant constructors in this tier. Actually, I don't think he's had good results in the race, but Oh, Andrea splits actually gets involved there. P2 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Still in the 25s though, but that's 4 cars to the 25 zeros, and Rara's just ahead of them at 24 nines. This pole is definitely for contention between a few drivers. Like, I could see anyone in the top 5, and then you had Roddy to that could take pole, and someone could just pull an absolute worldy lap here and take it. This is going to be a very this will not be the grid anyway. I'll tell you that much. This is going to change up a lot in these final runs.
Yeah, it certainly will. Definitely change up very drastically for certain. But Rara, the only one in the 24s so far. I did say Andero wanted to try and or could try and make a bit of an impact in this one for this evening, and he certainly is making an impact, especially up into second position. My only thing is, I don't know if he's going to be able to go out for one more run. I think that might be his final run done. So with everybody else still yet to do their final runs, which a lot of them are now making their way out of the pits to get onto their final runs relatively early. I think Fraser will be our first one to complete his final flying lap. But yeah, Andero, as I say, trying to sort of put a bit more pressure onto the other drivers to, well, absolutely nail their laps in their final runs. And yeah, I think Andero could definitely be up there for a contender in this race from what it looks like in this qualifying session. But again, still 3 minutes left to go, or 2.5 minutes left to go now, shall I say. And yeah, a lot of these guys are now making their way out of the pits to start their final flying runs. I say Fraser for the WOR team will be our first one to complete his lap. What do you reckon, Oshin?
Well, if you look to the sky, there's no one getting you risk of rain, so I think that's why the lap times are improving that much. Andrea may be in a really bad position here. Of course, you have to remember he invalidated his first lap, so that put him out of sync with everyone. So I believe that's him done. He's definitely used 3 tires in my opinion, so Andrea could drop down significantly. Like, you have to look, he's a half a second off dropping down to P16, so there's a lot of improvement there, but a lot of cars close together. But Fraser may be in trouble as he's about to start his final lap here. P6 at the moment. He was high in qualifying last week, so he needs an improvement here. He was, of course, challenged for the podium for most of the race, so you would hopefully expect him to be a bit more up, but he might get a bit caught out with traffic here. There's a massive gaggle of cars coming through the old pit straight now, so hopefully he doesn't catch that. Coleman, oh, illegal blocking. Could that? I think he was just going too slow with cars behind him, so that may warrant a restart. I'm not sure what they've all agreed on here. Of course, based on it's pre-agreed what would consider a restart between the drivers, I believe here. So we'll need to figure that one out. But looking at Coolman, I think he is holding up a lot of people here. If you look at him, no one's wanting to pass him, so maybe it's warranted. But Fraser, he's a temp up for the first sector. He needs a lot more improvement from that to challenge the top 10. And he gets that. He's 2.5 tenths up, but he might be getting caught out here as cars are going to go slow, going between Stowe and Bale. So Fraser may get impeded here. You hope everyone stays out of the way, but he's going to get impeded.
They're not his teammate. Oh, Shane. You got to have more awareness than that. He's definitely also got rear wing damage as well, so that's pretty much the Irishman's run done as well. And his tyres will be completely heated up, so yeah, you got to definitely have a lot more awareness than that. Otherwise, it catches you out just like that, which is very unfortunate for him. But Maliapi's going to be our next one to come across the line, and we'll see what he is able to do with just 2 more corners to go. Now around the final corner, he was 2.5 tenths up on his time. 25.002.
That's what I'm saying. It's the Mercedes Nexus IJZ. He's down this time though. Oh, and he's lost it through the exit of Vale, so this not going to benefit. Nope, stays where he is. Ferrari of Franchish, he improves to P13, but this is what I was saying. The times are going to be improving rapidly. It's going to be Max Aro. He's a 10.5 up. Can he take pole off his teammates right after is Rara? But this is what I was saying, that it's just gone warmer, so the track is going to get quicker. Here comes Max Aro to take 24.8. And Rara is down inside, but he's Rara spun. It's not going to be 3 in a row for him.
No, it certainly isn't. Rara at the very pinnacle
Giovanni.
of it has absolutely spun it around. Giovanni coming across the line, P9 for him. Yeah, Coolman straight up into second position. Now it's up to the Aston Martins as well. Ruddy's just making his way around the final corner as well. Ruddy not improving on his time. Gian is going to be one of the next ones to come across the line. Around he comes now, and it's a 25.059. No improvement. Damien, though, 4.5 tenths down on his time. I don't think he's making any improvement either. And I think that is it done for the qualifying session. It's not 3 in a row for Rara. He will start in third. It will actually be the other Alpine this time around. It will be Max Rowe starting on the front row for Max, and Coolman lining up alongside him in that Red Bull. Yeah, split by 14 thousandths of a second. We'll get confirmation in just a moment as well if there is going to be a restart. As I say, I'm not too sure if there will be or not, but like I said, once we do find out, then we will let you guys know. But this is what the qualifying positions are looking like. Max Rowe will be starting on the front row, in at the very front of that front row as well in first. Coolman in second with a 5 grid place penalty, which is why I'm not sure if we're going to get it restarted or not. Rara in third with Maliapi in fourth, and Darrow in fifth with Damien in sixth, Gian in seventh, Griglick in eighth, Giovanni in ninth, running out the top 10, Kahilu in 11th with Dutch Mirsalt in 12th, Frankis in 13th, Hazara in 14th, Oshin in 15th after in a 5 grid place penalty after blocking his teammate. Jay's in 16th with Fraser in 17th, Carl Scout in 18th, Marek in 19th, and then Nikitu coming in a bit late, and he will be starting at the very back end of the grid. And like I say, we're just waiting to see if there are going to be, or if there is going to be a restart.
There is a restart.
Yeah, okay. So there will be a restart. So what we'll do is, whilst we're waiting for that restart to take place, we'll go over to our quick sponsor for GT Omega, and we'll be back with you guys in a very short moment. Right, so whilst we are just waiting to get ourselves back in and ready to go, getting the grid all arranged as well. Yeah, very, very close qualifying session. I think the whole grid was split by, 4 tenths of a second? And even then, I think that was because of a couple of drivers that was still, only like 1 or 2 drivers that were just that little bit behind previously. So, yeah, such a close grid throughout the whole field. I think this is going to make for a one entertaining race for certain for F5, and I feel that might be one, dare I say, that could go in a bit of a history book going down, especially with how this could turn out for this evening. But we'll see if Max Rowe is going to be able to hold on up ahead of his teammate Imrara and Coolman as well. I think that's the reason why we did get the restart. So Coolman will be starting in P2, but I think Oshin might actually be starting at the back then if he did get that 5 grid place penalty, which in my opinion it should stick, just purely because he did block his teammate. And that one was an actual one that he blocked his teammate for. Then yeah, I think it should probably stay, and he should definitely start towards the back end of the field. Call that as his, like, I suppose, call that his penalty. I think for what actually happened, I think that 5 grid place penalty should probably stick. So yeah, waiting for everybody to get themselves into the lobby. I think we're waiting for I know Lakitu is in. Who are we waiting for it's the other Mercedes of Ruddy. So we're waiting for Ruddy to join, and then we should be good to go as soon as the grid is also done. And yeah, hopefully we can get this straight on the way. Obviously, massive well done to all the drivers getting in ASAP. But once again, with the standings, if it is the case it finished the same way that it did in the qualifying, if it is going to be the case that Maxro does take the win, he's only on 2 points, so if he takes the win, he'd be up to 18 points. That jumps him up into third instantly. Same with Coolman. If Coolman finishes in second, I think Damien was only just behind him. I think in like P4, P5 or something like that. So yeah, Damien could really get a massive lead going on into this into the tier now, especially with Kahilu being quite a bit down in the order. So yeah, I think P11 is where he's going to be starting. I think I don't know. I feel like Damien has the opportunity of being able to run away with the lead in this championship, but that's only if it finishes the way that it does in this race. Coolman will be able to get a little bit more of a jump up on him, but at the same time, it means that Damien has a bit more leeway up ahead of the rest of the grid.
Yeah, and I am back because I just like to use this opportunity to rehydrate myself. So, yeah, water keeps you alive. But I think we should be getting going quickly. Everyone is in the lobby. We just have to have the grid set, which unfortunately is very painful because it will be examined thoroughly by everyone. And if someone is one place down, they will make sure it is well known. So, to whoever is doing that, I wish you the best.
What I was saying was, as well, just whilst you was rehydrating with some agua, is I think that where Oshin did actually do the block on his teammate coming through that final corner, I personally still think he should be starting that 5 grid place penalty. I don't know about your opinion on that. Don't know if there's a biased opinion for the Irish, but yeah, in my opinion anyway, I think because of how it affected his teammate, where Fraser was, I think, slightly up on his time, would have definitely made an improvement, but for some reason, Oshin just had absolutely no spatial awareness whatsoever. It meant that, he got that 5 grid place penalty, and I think that was a legit 5 grid place penalty. So we'll see how the coordinator's done it, and if, of course, his teammate does decide to report it. We'll see. If not, then I suppose he's just let bygones be bygones. But yeah, me personally, I do think Oshin should be starting at the back of the field.
Well, I think his biggest punishment is he's going to have to deal with Gunther Steiner smashing some stuff over that incident. Not a good day for Haas, but Haas are known for destroying stuff. So it might be. I mean, like his car did go flying. That was kind of spectacular to see. I hope you're doing an off board for that because that would have looked spectacular. I was doing the on board with Fraser, and all you could see was Oshin just, the Halo has done its job today for Fraser. Fraser survived because of the Halo, so thank you, Halo. He saved one of our drivers tonight.
Yeah, no, I was on board with Fraser when that was happening. So yeah, it did look like his car just went flying up in the air, or the rear definitely went flying up in the air for Oshin. So yeah, like you say,
that was on board. That if that was off board, that would have been incredible to just witness.
Yeah, you'd have just seen a Haas just go flying backwards, just drifting it around the final corner. And if anyone wasn't actually watching that, or if I wasn't picking it up on the camera, we'd have just seen a Haas just drifting it around the final corner, which would have made it a bit more interesting. But yeah, hopefully we should be able to get this going very, very soon. As I said, I think just Maxro is just doing the grid very quickly. Probably just rewind the stream to just have a quick look at the grid order, and then we should be able to get this going. As I say, I think we were just waiting for him to get that one done, and then yeah, hopefully this will be an absolute cracking race. I want to hear your early prediction because there's no formation lap on. Early prediction: who do you reckon's taking on him?
Well, I think the Alpines are going to take each other out, and it's going to be incredible. And I think I'm going to go with Gian going for redemption today. I think he's going to get the win again. I think P2 will be Coolman. You know what? We're going to have a complete repeat of the podium from Brazil, and Kaya will be P3. It'll be a complete Brazilian podium repeat because Rara and Maxwell will in some way take each other out because Alpine like double DNF in IRL, so why not bring it to PSGL?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We will wait and see. As you say, Kylie was he's been third, or he's finished third in the race twice in a row. So we'll see if he's able to get that on the 3P for P3, and possibly move himself up into P2 in the stands. If he does do that, if Coolman does end up finishing maybe behind him, I think even if he finishes ahead of him, I still feel like Kahili might actually jump up ahead into P2 in the standings. I'll double check with that, but yeah, I think for me, I'd probably go with I've got faith in Rara. It's the first time he's not on pole this season for round number 3. It's the first time he's not on pole, but for some reason, something in my gut is just saying that he's going to end up winning it just because he wasn't starting on pole for a change. Maybe he's got to just try and do that the opposite way, not start on pole and get himself up onto the top of the field rather than starting on pole and then losing the positions at the start.
I mean, yeah, it's still 3 poles in a row for Alpine, but like, yeah, I think Ferrari is definitely going to be annoyed now. Will that benefit him or will that bring it down? But I see a lot of guys ready up in the lobby. Is that a sign that maybe we're getting started? I'm not sure.
Yeah, we are. We are
getting
started.
Ready?
Yeah, everyone is now readying up, so hopefully, as I say, we can get this one started ASAP if all the drivers do just quickly ready up. And I probably shouldn't say this on the stream, but even still, don't forget your setup. If you are listening in the stream, do not forget the setup, because I can guarantee now there might be 1 or 2 people that may end up forgetting the setup. So we'll see if there is anybody that will say that in the Discord.
Yeah, let's put predictions in. How many people are out of the 20 drivers? How many are going to forget their setups? Because we've all done it. We've all done a restart. We've all sat on the grid. We've all started. And we stuck on the default setup. And I'll tell you one figure story. The default setups in this game are atrocious. The rear locking you will do on the default setups and the oversteer on the seat, it feels like a 2014 Ferrari. It's somehow understeers and oversteers at the same time. So we'll know quickly if someone's forgotten to put their setup on, because they will be drifting through each corner. But how many are you saying? I'm saying 3 forget the setup.
I reckon... You know what? I'm with you. I think three people will forget their setup as well. So we'll wait and see if that is going to be the case for this race, and hopefully we'll be able to get this one straight underway. As I said, everyone's going to be doing the strategies, picking their setups, and then, like I say, we'll be able to get this one straight underway. Is it going to be one of the Alpines that come out on top? Is it going to be one of the Aston Martins that come out on top? Or is it going to be someone completely different coming out on top for this evening? I see there's a few people in the chat, so if you want to put your predictions in, you are more than welcome to. We've got a couple guys rooting for the NLR boys, or Wizzy rooting for the NLR boys, and ZQ rooting for Rara. So yeah, and I think also good old Ferrari versus Toyota for Forza Grigo. So he's obviously rooting for Griglick as well, to try and get himself a decent points haul for this evening. But yeah, hopefully everyone is getting their setups on, getting their strategies done, and we can get this one very quickly underway. 29 lap race. I think the favourite strategy might be medium soft or soft medium, which we haven't seen since F1 2020. I think it's been now. So we'll see.
We're going.
We'll see. As we've got the 5 red lights for round number 3 around Silverstone. And the lights are out, and away they go. Coolman getting off to a very good start in comparison to Max. He's already up alongside him in towards turn number 1. Is he going to be able to get the jump on the Alpine? Yes, he certainly has. Rara's trying to go around the outside of him in towards turn 2 and up towards turn number 3. Rara's trying to even go down the inside of Coolman in towards it. Shoves him off completely. Max going straight back into the lead of the race. They're 3 wide going through turn number 4, but Rara just causing that Coolman and Max, causing himself and Coolman to go completely wide, meaning Max go straight back into the lead of the race. There's Mercedes just coming back on track. I think that was Ruddy being able to come back on the track. Kahilo and Dutch Missile going side by side, coming through Brooklands corner, and now all of them making their way through Luffield. Gian now side by side with Andero, as that's the spinner. That is Maxro, our pole sitter, already back down towards the end of the grid. Andero going very wide as well, just before Cox corner. Kailo makes his way up into 7th position. The 2 Aston Martins still running very lenient at the moment. Maliapi made his way up into P3 as Ruddy just pushing Gian along through Maggots and Beckett's at the moment. The top 6 already starting to slightly get away, as Giovanno having a bit of a spin going through Maggots and Beckett's as well. Must have been side by side, but very quickly. Ruddy now trying to go down the inside of Gian, going up in towards Stowe. He's going to try and go for the move, and in fact already splitting the two Aston Martins, completely cleared him before going through that corner. Kailu as well, almost looking for a move on Andera, and that's Fraser going around out of Stowe as well. A lot of contact and a lot more action going on the first lap than compared to what we saw last weekend in Bahrain. And yeah, a lot of things going on, but Rara at the start, ultra aggressive on that Red Bull.
Yeah, Coleman's not going to be happy with that, but I was on board with Giovanni. He got force right by a McLaren through Cops, and I'm not sure who, I think it was IJs he went with on Max Becca's, and he was just force right as if he didn't exist. He hit the wall. I'm surprised he didn't have any damage. But yeah, Grillick spun at the start. I think he just lost himself, but I'm not sure what happened with Max Rose. Did he make contact or did he lose it himself? But yeah, very, very aggressive first lap. Kuman is not going to be happy with Rara there. Kuman, he showed immediately by just going straight back on track. I don't think that will be unsafe rejoining anyway, especially since he was put wide. But yeah, there's a lot of drivers early on with spins, but no DNS, fortunately. But yeah, very close grace. Ruddy, I think he's sizing up a move on the Aston Martin. Damon, don't do it for Max Beck. Nothing's better of it.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. And yeah, I don't know what I think Max Rowe did just spin it on his own coming out of Luffield from the looks of things. But yeah, looking at the tyre strategy choices as well, the top four all on a set of hards. Ruddy, the only one trying to go for a move around the outside of Stowe on Damien. Is he going to be able to pull off that move? He's on the soft compound tyres, so he's definitely got the options to do it. Getting boxed in a bit with Maliapi out in front of him. That's our first DNF. That's Sandero. And that is a virtual safety car. Roddy got in front of Damien in the end as well. So he manages to keep on hold to P4. I bet Roddy, though, wished that was probably a couple corners ago, because he probably could have come in, chucked on a set of the hard tyres, and then potentially got to the end of the race on those. So yeah, and like the Dutch missile, he's already making his way into the pits. I wonder if he was the one that made the contact with Andero, because he's on a set of the hard compound tyre already and coming into the pit, so he must have some sort of wing damage. And I think, no, in fact, he had a 5-second grid penalty, or 5-second place penalty. I think I saw it earlier saying for overtaking under a yellow flag or overtaking, yeah, cutting a corner, that was it. So he's coming in to surf that, chucked on a fresh set of mediums, and is now basically going to try and go and hope probably for another safety car to come out so then it can help his strategy out. But yeah, very interesting start to this race.
At the front? But green, oh, that's why everyone slowed down quickly. I was wondering what happened there, but it was because it was going green in Awkward's place. No one wanted to drive through. So here we go again. We'll have DRS now when we get through Max and Beckett's, and Kuman maybe a sane duck here from Rara. As they're going now through the detection point right. Actually, it was back in Magus. I got it wrong there. But oh, Kuman had a bit of a rear swap there, so this could be an easy move here for Rara. Into Stowe. Is he going to go for his... He's hanging back. He's not going to go for here. This is late dive. No, things better of it. He probably wants to up to Brooklands. He's to do the overtaking the Brooklands, then Stowe. So let's try to think about it. But a massive DRS train as IJ's looking at ushering two soft runners. So they're going to need to get this done quickly. Horrible camera angle there, but we're through 4 laps already and we've had a lot of action. No safety car though yet. As Damien slowly getting dropped. Could there be Team Wars Aston Martin between Damien and Gian? Because I think it's too early to be having team preference on who's the championship contender, especially when Gian had a very unfortunate Bahrain Grand Prix. But actually Roddy's got the move for the podium on Maliapis. And Rara once again playing the patient game, staying behind. Saw a lot of that last week between him and Damien. All the way around, Rara was the one who was leading. Damien was the one who played patient, got the move late on. So could it be a reversal of fortunes for Rara potentially? We'll see as this race progresses. Very early to be playing that game though, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too early for them to maybe go ahead with it. Jace has also just lost DRS to Kahilu up in 7th position as well, so it means that Oshin is definitely going to have an opportunity of an overtake on the Mercedes for P8 as well very, very soon, especially being on the same compound of tyre. But the thing is, Rara's now probably got to stop trying to hold back because Ruddy's now wanting to try and make the most of his soft compound of tyres, so surely it's got to mean that Rara has got to try and do a bit of an attack on Coolman, especially if he's not wanting to try and let Ruddy go on through. Again, both NLR boys and hopefully they, give us a good old scrap. I know they're both in NLR, but at the same time they're not in the same team in this one. So, yeah, hopefully they do give us a good battle between those guys. But like I say, top 7 already broken away from Oshin in 8th position. Jason Knife and Carl Scarrett rounding out the top 10. Hazara and Frankis I saw before as well, just having a nice little ding dong a couple of laps ago. And yeah, I think Dutch Missile and Marek a little bit further behind, but of course they did make an early pit stop, the pair of them. So maybe, again, I think a safety car really is going to try and play into their hands. Maybe if they even try and go for maybe a 2-stop could potentially work, especially under that virtual safety car. The only problem, though, is that they're still going to be about 12 odd seconds behind, despite all of that happening. So, I don't know. Again, I think a safety car would massively play into their hands, because then at least it brings them back up to the pack. Again, though, the only problem is just that because the rest of them haven't pit or anything like that, it's just going to really sort of throw off their strategy, and they'll probably still be at the back of that group. But at least then they would have been caught up to the rest of the cars instead of just sort of driving around on their lonesome.
Yeah, I think Damien's getting a bit of a hurry up potentially at Aston Martin, because he was looking for an advantageous boost on Valiapis through Loffield and Woodco. Was able to get the traction down as well as Valiapis, so he got the position where he's definitely looking aggressive here. But Rara, I think he's content with being P2 at the moment. He doesn't want to lead this race, but he might have to now. Coleman has a swapper there, and he might have a move into Abbey. Yeah, he's definitely deliberately hitting over the move there. He lifted there. He's definitely deliberately staying in P2 by the looks of it. Most people would have gone for that move after the tank swapper from Coolman, but Deguara's just playing the long game here and deciding he doesn't want to lead this race.
Yeah, it looks as if he is just content with staying behind. I think, as I say, he's got Ruddy behind him, and I'm surprised Ruddy's not trying anything on Rara at the moment. And again, I thought we were going to see him. Yeah, I thought we were going to see him maybe go for something just then. But yeah, Rara is just doing his best to stay behind Coolman. Maybe just to build up a bit of VRS just for a little bit later on down the line. But yeah, I think again, if I'm Rara, you've definitely got to think about a potential move very soon, especially if Ruddy on those soft tyres is going to try and look on the back of you, because it might come a point where he's going to have to start looking behind rather than try and start looking in front on the attack. He might have to start going a little bit defensive very, very soon. Out of the top 7 though, Kahilu is still the only one really on the medium compound tyre. Ruddy the only one on a soft set of tyres as well. But Kahilu could have a little bit of an advantage at very, very soon, as Carl Scarrett getting the move done on Oshin. I think that might also give a bit of an indication that the soft tyres may start going off very, very soon. But yeah, Kahina could have a little bit of an advantage. I think at the start of this race, he definitely had more of an advantage. But yeah, I think when it comes to later on in the race, these hard runners are going to have a massive advantage in comparison to the likes of Ruddy and the likes of Kahinu. I think for Ruddy, though, all he's got to try and do is just stay within this DRS train on these softs. If he can do that, I think Ruddy still has a decent opportunity of finishing in the top 3, because he can go at a set of mediums, whereas everybody else will also go on a set of mediums on those hards. Just means that his will be a couple of laps older, and he can go for an undercut on the rest of these guys as well. So could end up even jumping up into the lead of this race. As looking at Damien trying to go for a move on Maliapis now, down in towards Brooklyn. Marriott picking up the first 3-second time penalty, and that is a move for the Aston Martin now up into P4. For Damien, our last week's race winner and current championship leader, looking to try and see if he can maybe make his move onto the podium very soon.
Yeah, another thing this is doing is I think Coleman's pace is really slow compared to most of this grid, because you're seeing the top 11 in the same DRS train. And what this is doing is it's causing frustration between the drivers, as Gene's going for aggressive through Max Becker's. Ooh, that would have been a really aggressive move if he went for that Maliapis. But yeah, it's leading to frustration, because there's a lot of drivers who are stuck behind significantly slow cars, and that's because Rara's not going for the move on Coleman, and it's just leading to a massive DRS train. So it's just a massive frustration for everyone, as Coleman definitely, he's been making a lot of mistakes, especially through the last couple of corners. So Coleman's pace is not really that quick compared to most of the grid here, and I think that's just going to lead to frustration between most drivers. So we could be seeing people getting desperate, throwing very advantageous moves very shortly. We'll see as this progresses, but there's definitely undercut potential happening here. As Gene throws one into Village on Maliapis. Maliapis has been defending really well from Gene. We could be seeing a lot of frustration here from the race 1 winner. But he has a beautiful run through the loop. He's going to have this move for P5 on Maliapis, unless Maliapis goes around the outside, but Gian shuts that door. So, oh, that bit of contact between Maliapis and Gian, but looks all good here. So Gian up to 4th now.
Yeah, and Maliapis, I think him and Jim were having a nice little battle through that final chicane before as well. Manages to go a bit defensive on the inside of the Vale chicane as well. And now, yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't hold him back much longer. Next up, though, I think Kahila might also be trying to sort of sniff out a move on Maliapis very soon as well. The McLaren, he just looks a lot more confident coming through Maggots and Beckett's from what I'm seeing. Those medium tyres don't seem to be dying out at this present moment. But again, that's not to say that in the next coming laps we could be seeing those hard tyres being much better than those mediums and the softs. I mean, credit to Ruddy, 8 laps on these softs now. They should be wearing off quite significantly, but he's doing very well to hold on to the rest of these hard runners. Like I say, he can probably make these work to go to maybe lap 11, lap 12 if he wanted to, and then chuck on a fresh set of mediums, go straight to the end on them. I think, like I say, do not count out Ruddy in this whatsoever. It's just that, like you say, Coolman, he's just a lot slower than what I think the rest of the grid are, or the rest of the top 11 are at the moment. But that's not to say that he's not doing a good job at the moment of holding on to his holding on to the lead of the race. Just Rara, he even had to use a little bit of ERS that time because you can see he's burnt it down quite a bit. I think last time I saw I was on board with him, he was on 70-odd%. Now down to about 55-odd%. I don't know if that's defending from Ruddy on those softs, but yeah, I think Rara, if to try and avoid burning any more ERS, to defend from Ruddy, he needs to go for an attack on Coolman, and I think just to at least separate himself from that soft runner so he gets a little bit of pressure taken off of him from that Mercedes behind him. But yeah, other than that, really, not really any other battles going on. Frankis and Lakitu, both of the Ferraris, may potentially look for a swap going on very soon. And Fraser and Griglick as well, down in 14th and 15th, both really close to each other. Again, could possibly see a swap go down between them as well. I think we'll definitely see a swap go down for the Ferraris. But here we go, Rara. Now I'm going to go down the inside in towards Stowe, up towards the lead of the race. Now he needed to get that move done, like I say, just to at least separate himself and have a little bit less pressure from that soft runner in third. And a little bit of contact. Coolman, I thought, was just trying to sort of dip a toe down the inside into the chicane. But Coolman, though, having a little bit of a wobble coming out of that Vale chicane as well. Is this going to allow Ruddy and Damien potentially to even go for a run on Coolman in towards turn number 3 down through Village Corner? Let's see if Coolman is going to be able to hold on to P2. It does look as if he will for the time being, but I think the Mercedes is definitely going to put him under pressure. Damien trying to go down the inside in through turn number 4, and now they're both side by side. It means that I don't think Ruddy's going to be able to go for a run on Coolman, and Coolman might try and look to take the lead of the race again, but Damien as well. Is he going to try and go for a move in towards Brooklands? Down the inside he goes on the Mercedes. It means that Ruddy will have the inside through Luffield, and I think he's going to be able to hold on to P3 for the time being. But all this battling going on means that they're going to start to drop back from those top 2. Damien, though, you can see that Ruddy is starting to struggle on the soft compound tyre, and he needs to get this move done ASAP if he wants any chance of still being able to remain on the podium and even potentially fighting for a race win. But he needs to get past this Mercedes ASAP. You can just see he's weaving left and right to try and find any sort of move that he can on this Mercedes. But I think with the DRS with Ruddy, he's still going to be able to at least hold on ahead of the Aston Martin, and you can see he's burning that ERS now to try and stay up ahead, and you can see he's even gaining on Coolman. Are we going to see Ruddy even maybe go for a move on Coolman in Stone? No, we are not. The Aston Martin, though, just going to have to remain stationed for the time being, as Rara being the first one to come in.
I'm actually surprised it was Rara, because I'm expecting like Ruddy, Damien, Gian, they're going to fly past Coolman. Like, we saw Rara lifting on the straights to stay behind Coleman, so I'm interested to see what his strategy is, because if he could potentially get caught behind like the slower cars, like the lads who weren't part of this train, and he might. Oh no, he's definitely gonna have P there. He might get caught behind Dutch Missile, though. It's gonna be close to him with Dutch Missile. But yeah, it's an interesting strategy goal. He's got to get those mediums 16 laps, like they'll do it, but they will be crying towards the end, especially compared to those who are going to pit later on. And are we going to see anyone go from hard to soft potentially? We'll see that as the race unfolds. But yeah, very, very interesting strategies being played here by Rara.
maybe he, as I say, he wanted to go for the undercut, and I thought Ruddy was going to try something on him, but apparently Ruddy was just content on the soft compounded tyre, and he might even, like I say, try and go for a move on Coolman going into Stowe. He just goes a little bit wide coming through Beckett's and out through Chapel, but yeah, Coolman, you can just see he took it so much better in comparison to the Mercedes. I think we're going to see Ruddy in at the end of this lap. Maybe even Kailu following, because he was so close to the back of Maliapis, and I thought he was going to go for it into Luffield. Didn't end up doing it in the end. Coolman doesn't come in. Ruddy does. Kahilu follows them in. So the two that I thought were coming in, they made their way in. I think it was also Maliapis. No, it wasn't Maliapis coming in. It was Oshin coming in, as well as Jays. So those guys that were also battling just behind them that joined that train for the DRS train into P11, they are now making their way in. And this is what's going to be interesting. Whereabouts is Rara going to come out in relation to the rest of these guys? The Dutch missile, by the way, has managed to jump up ahead of Rara by about 8 seconds. The only problem for him now is those mediums are not making it to the end on 8-lap-old mediums. As Kahilu coming in and changing onto a set of the hards. So the rest of them are going on a set of the medium compound tyre.
Roddy's going to easily have this. Roddy easily has this. The overcut's worked. Rara's going to lose a few positions here, potentially. Yeah, Rara, he's going to potentially even lose to Oxsheen also. Jesus, has he had to change his wing potentially? Hold on. He did. Rara had to change his wing.
Oh!
Yeah, I was wondering, like, he lost so much time, so he must have accidentally clipped the back of Coleman at some stage.
And that obviously meant that he went into the lead of the race, trying to lead them around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very strange. I'm surprised Rara got that wing damage then. Okay, fair enough.
He must have hit the back of Coleman because he had to lift a lot to avoid overtaking him. So I'm guessing he lifted a bit too late and clipped the back of him. And yeah, that's compromised him as lot as we see Maliapis going into the pit now. So at the moment, it's Roddy in the flying position here. But
Very strange.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. The two Ferraris going at it, by the way. They're 3 wide going in towards the final corner with Alfa Romeo Griglick as well. Lakitu trying to go down there, going around the outside of the final corner, and manages to get into ahead of Frankis as well. Griglick as well. Oh, a bit of contact, a little bit of a wobble as well. It's going to allow Fraser to go on past. And in fact, actually, he stays up ahead of Fraser. Was it you say it was Fraser that hit the back of Griglick?
Yeah, Fraser just goes in the back. Griglick forced Fraser off, and then Fraser clip the back of him, as we're going to see where Maliapis is going to fall out here. He might just get ahead of Oshin, and yes, he gets ahead of Caillou. It's going to be will to will between them into turn 1. Nope, Maliapis doesn't have the temperature, so Maliapis is behind Caillou. So Roddy's already built just a small bit of a gap to Rara. How long are these front runners going to stay out? Damien still hasn't got past Coolman.
We'll see, I suppose, as the Aston Martin, Carl Scarrett also losing DRS to those Aston Martins as well. It means he's going to be under pressure from Hazara. So we'll see if Hazara and the Williams is going to be able to maybe go for a move. Damien, like you say as well, also dropped off a little bit from Coolman. But now, of course, where all the rest of the cars made their way into the pits, are any of them still going to pit? The top 3 are all still staying out, which to me indicates what you said just a second ago. I think they are going to a set of the softs for the end of this race. The problem again, though, as though yeah, they have.
Oh dear. Ferrari strategy class. I think they in a Ferrari strategy class mode they call them both into the pits at the same time. Potentially, we'll see about that later. But yeah, not a good day for the Ferraris. They've been banging wheels all afternoon. So, as I think Gene's coming in this lap, he gets the blue range, and Coolman also has the blue range. Damien doesn't, so Damien might be going for the softs.
Yeah, there's definitely an opportunity, I think, for the top 3 at least, I think, will be going when they set a soft compound tyre. Which means that Roddy is inheriting the net race lead. And in fact, he's got a gap of 1.2 seconds up ahead of Rara. So Roddy's being allowed to run into clean air and on a lap younger tyres than his NLR compadre. Azara under pressure from Kahilu now as well, going through Brooklyn's corner. The McLaren's just going to have to wait back for the time being, and you can see Rara's now got that red flashing light on the back of his car. He wanted to try and catch up to Ruddy as much as possible to try and get in his DRS, but hasn't been able to, and because of that, he's now out of DRS and out of ERS, and it means that Kahilu can just sit back apply as much pressure as he possibly can to the back of Rara as there. Oh, okay. So Coolman and Damien are both coming in, so they must be going on a set of the mediums. Hazara followed them in, means Gian could then be going for a set of the soft compound attire, but I would have thought they'd come in a bit earlier if it was mediums. So they must be. No, they're not. They're going on a set of mediums. Well, I don't know why they didn't pit with them then. Very, very strange.
Overcome maybe the hot to fresh tires as Roddy gets past Dutch Missile. He needed to make that move quickly for his strategy as Caillou's got ahead of Rara again, missed that.
Yeah, so he did manage to get past him in the air. So Caillou is now in a net second position. Where are the rest of these guys going to be coming out? Coolman is just making his way out of the pit lane now, and he's actually, in fact, behind Maliapi. Same with Damien. In fact, side by side, going in towards turn 3 with Carl Scarrett is Damien. Carl Scarrett was, I think, in P11 when everybody else was starting to make their pit stops. Made the earlier pit stop, one lap earlier pit stop, and has now jumped up ahead of Damien. And even, in fact, Oshin could even be going for a move on Damien as well, going down in towards Brooklands. Are we going to see the Irishman go for this move? They're both side by side now going through there. Damien's going to have the outside. Oshin on the inside means that Damien will then have the inside going in through Brooklyn. Go through Luffield, sorry, and maintains that position. So the overcut is now going to indicate to them that that was definitely not the right strategy call, because now he's stuck at the back of this DRS train that's now being led by the Dutch Missile, and means that they're now going to be significantly lagging behind Roddy. Roddy is completely run off in the air. Gian is now in finally. I don't know why they didn't pit. I think that was a completely wrong strategy call. They should have pit with the rest of them.
Here comes Caillou on the Dutch Missile, and needs to make this move quickly to not let Roddy run away, but he gets that move. Dutch Missile's being compliant on the overtakes as Frankish is going to inherit the lead, I believe, here, as he's the only one yet to stop as Dutch Missile goes really deep and Rara gets past him easy enough, and Maliapis, his teammate's going to follow suit. Actually, he's lost 3 places in one corner, has the Dutch Missile, as Praise is the only one who's going to go for the softs. Oh, Jean's dropped down so much. Jean's down to 11th. Not a good strategy call by him as it's free winding to the loop. Hold on here. Dutch Missile calls Garrett. Absolutely argy-bargy here. Through goes David. Oh no! Championship leader has spun out. It's not his fault at all. He tried to recreate True Goals Hamilton and calls Garrett and Dutch Missile take him out. Oh dear, oh dear. That's dropped him out of the points.
I'm going to be honest.
The
I don't think that move was on from Damien. I think he was better off sitting back. You could see the two were still side by side of each other going through or coming onto the straight. And I don't think that move was ever on for him. And I think that was just an over-audacious move.
I think it was on for him because they were forcing each other off. They were going off the track. So I think it's unsafe rejoining by, I don't know who was forced off. I think it was Koscara, but they were going nowhere. So what was Damien supposed to do? He just had to keep going. He got caught out by them spinning, I think, but we'll let the series decide that. But that's massive for Caillou, who, as it stands, will take the championship lead. And he's running his typical P3, but when Frankish pits, it will become P2. And he's looking for P1 at the moment, as you see a flashing light from Roddy saying, I don't have a lot of ERS. So Caillou might be going for the move here. Coolman's just following suit. Rara still in contention for this win also. Maliapis, there's still a lot of contention for this win. Hazara gets past Oshin there for P8. So we'll see how this unfolds. Caillou's gone for it, but Roddy's positioned the car well, but the tires will eventually benefit Caillou. He might try, he's burning here. He might try in the cops. Don't try in the cops, please. No, things better off it. Rara gets past Jean gets back at him for cops. That's how you do a move for cops. On the inside. Jean gets the move on cops.
Beautifully done from Gian, and Rara, I think I saw, was lost the place to Maliapis, and then, yeah, I don't know what happened with Rara, because, again, he's lost 2 positions now. Kaida going around the outside of Roddy to inherit the net race lead, and now they're catching up to the back of Frankish as well. Yeah, and Gian getting up to P5, so you are right. Coolman, he's now joined the battle between Kailu and Roddy. Kailu, he's finished 3rd for the last 2 races. This evening, though, he's looking like he could potentially be taking that top spot. Gian setting the fastest lap of the race so far, still though only 1.5 seconds behind the other top 3, or the net top 3 of Kailu, Roddy and Coolman. So we'll see if they're able to maybe try and make up, or if Gian's able to make up any positions, because, or any time onto these 3, shall I say, because Mariapis, Rara and Hazara, they're not ones to mess around behind anybody. And Coolman, I think, is going for the move on Roddy going in towards Brooklyn's. I think he's going to be able to go down the inside. Roddy's not going to be able to put up too much of a fight. And Coolman on the fresher tyres gets himself up now into a net 2nd position. So Coolman could still well be on for taking the win for this evening. I mean, it's looking very likely. But the thing is, as you say, Kahilu's tyres, they're going to come back to him a little bit later on in the race.
Yeah, and Rara's tyres are definitely worse where he's lost 3 positions in the last 2 laps. Hazara got past him through Brooklyn, so I think Rara's tyres are hurting him, so he might just be continuing to drop back more. So it's going to be another unfortunate race for Rara after, well, he didn't take pole, he took 3rd, but after a strong qualifying, he's not looking like he's going to convert it like Brazil. But what's happening here? Coleman to the lead, he's done a double overtake, my god!
Ooh. Beautiful stuff. Frank is now into the pits. Roddy got past him as well. But yeah, Coolman and Kaila, they made it 3 wide just before Stove. Frankish did back out of that one. And then Kaila was down the inside in towards Stove. Coolman, though, had the better traction going through Stove, especially if you're on that outside. You definitely get much better traction in comparison, and managed to swoop it and get past the McLaren. We were saying Coolman in the early stages was not looking very quick. I think that's the complete opposite now. He's looking like probably the quickest man other than Gian out on the track at the moment.
Yeah, we're looking at 6 drivers all within DRS of the leader, so it's a 6-way fight by the looks of it. So who's going to win this one? I'd say at the moment I think Caillou is probably in the best position to win this, because the hards will come to him. We still got 7 laps to go. The hards are going to come to Caillou, so I think Caillou is in the best position here. As long as he doesn't drop out DRS from Coolman and force fights between himself and Roddy, which will just extend the gap even more. That's what Caillou needs to focus on at the moment, is staying within that DRS, which he's struggling at the moment. He's only got 2 tenths to spare, and that 2 tenths is what separates him and Roddy. He's got the light flash, you know. This could be bad for him. Roddy might be looking for P2 right now. DRS open. Is he going to burn? Nope, doesn't burn it. He's going to wait. Oh, shooting 3 seconds. That might drop out of the points when it comes to blow. Hazara gets Maliapis for P5. Strong race for Hazara also here.
Yeah, he's definitely looking pretty strong. I saw Hazara was just sort of eyeing up Maliapis through through Magnussen Beckett's as well, and you can see that red flashing light on the back of that AlphaTauri. And yeah, Hazara, I think, just wanted to take advantage, because at least he was to be able to hold on to DRS for the guys up ahead of him. And yeah, the Williams now up into P5. Looking a bit more, a little bit stronger now than he was last week, even despite obviously being in that battle there. As yeah, Gian, is he going to be able to go for a bit of a switchback on the Mercedes coming through the looping section onto the straight? I don't think he's going to be able to, but the DRS is now wide open. The ERS is now going to be on for the Aston Martin. He wants to try and hold it down the inside in towards Brooklyn's. Roddy has to think, give that one up, and Gian now up onto the podium. Spots Coolman, by the way, has dropped Caillou out of his DRS, so Coolman is on an absolute charge at the moment. He's even using his ERS. He wants to get out of that 1 second window to the McLaren behind him, and he is doing that perfectly. And this will mean that Caillou is going to be under pressure from Gian and from Roddy behind him, especially with their DRS as well. So they're definitely going to have some sort of problems going through this very, very soon, as I'm not sure what's going on. I've got a bit of a sound glitch going on with my game at the moment, which is very strange. It seems to sort itself out, though. Yeah,
but you're saying Coleman's on a charge. Gian's on a surge. He's looking for this win. He's looking to get his 2nd win of the season. He's got past Caillou. Roddy can't get past Caillou, so that's going to benefit Gian, as Gian wasn't looking at Caillou. He was looking at Coleman. He's going to be in DRS very soon. He is just storming through the field. This could be a third win in a row for Aston Martin, a second win for Gian. Might put him back in the championship lead, especially with Damien not scoring. Caillou might actually still have the lead at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, Caillou's now looking backwards at Ruddy and Hazara. He's no longer looking forwards. He's looking in the mirrors. Gian does have DRS already on Coleman. He could have this move going into Stowe to end this lap.
Yeah, he very well could do. And Caillou now back in a familiar position of P3. I think an unfortunate familiar position for him, as he was leading the race temporarily. And he's already dropped out of DRS from the other two as well. So Caillou, I don't know why, he seems to be struggling more on these hard tyres compared to the others around him on the medium tyres, which is very strange to see. But yeah, at the same time, Caillou, he chose to obviously start on the mediums and go on the hards on the end, which at the moment, it's not playing dividends for him. But again, there's still another 6 more laps left to go. He could still make it up going forward very, very soon. As Ruddy now, DRS wide open. He's using that overtake. He wants to go for this move on Caillou. They've both got their red flashing lights going on. Caillou's going to try and go defensive in towards Stowe. He hits the back of him. They're 3 wide going out in towards Stowe. Yeah, Hazara tried going around the outside of the pair of them, and that's not a thing that you want to be doing. And it meant that Ruddy went into the back of Caillou, and I don't know if he's picked himself up any damage because of that. Caillou then went a little bit deep because of Ruddy hitting him. Hazara went completely off the track. Maliapis picking up the pieces and gets himself up into P5, and a potential move now on for P4, even for P3 for Maliapis.
P1. Like, we have Damien, he's looking for the points. His teammate Gian, a potential championship rival, is looking for the win. He is 4 attempts off goal, man. DRS open. He's not going to be burning, so he's actually closed DRS. He's taking a leaf from his teammate's book. He's going to charge up the Barry. Let the laps count down. He's going to let these guys behind Bow. That's going to just increase the gap here. So he's taking a leaf from his teammate's book, and he's going to wait later. As Damon, I think he's got the move across Gary. He's back in the points. 1 point. He's not going to be happy with 1 point, but it could be damage limitation when all is said and done after round 11 to end this season. Could be a very vital point when it all ends, but for this race, it's going to be the other side of the Aston Martin garage celebrating potentially. But yeah, Gene is definitely playing the same game that his teammate played last week. Could be 4. There's 2 battles happening. Ruddy gets Caillou. Hazara gets Maliapis. 2 overtakes into Stowe. This could be a big battle for the last podium spot. Caillou's just hurting more and more with how the hard's going on. It's not benefiting. He's losing more pace as it progresses. Maxwell, it's been a day to forget for the pole, man. It's not where you want to start here by the looks of it. That's 2 times the post is looking like he's not going to score. No post being converted yet. Dutch missile with 3 seconds as Damien's lost out to call Scarrett again. Oh, he needs to get points here. So here we go. Again. Gian's not burning.
No, he's just content with sitting behind Coolman for the time being. I think maybe lap 25 is when we're going to see the attack go on for Gian. As, Caillou looking to see if he can maybe go for a move once again on Ruddy, but not going to be able to go for anything at this present moment. Hazara and Maliapis as well. They were sort of running, as you were saying before, like Noah's Ark formation of 2x2 going down the main straight, or going down the Hammond straight, shall I say. So, yeah, I think we might be seeing something very similar to that again soon. I think Ruddy just had a little bit of a moment coming out of Cops, but Gian, I think I'd say in lap 25 we're going to see the move. I reckon this could actually be the time here. Gian is so close to the back of the Red Bull. He's opened the DRS, but he's not closed it. He's already closed it. So yeah, he's not going to go for any sort of move on the Red Bull at the moment. Caillou, though, could be thinking different. He's going to try and go around the outside of Stowe, maybe in towards it, but no, he's going to hold back for the time being, the hard runner. I think we're going to start to see these hards now make a bit more of an impact in comparison to those medium tyres. Bit of an oversteer moment from Caillou. I don't know if he got tapped in the back by Hazara just then, but yeah, bit of an oversteer moment from him indeed. Damien also getting a move on Carl Scarrett, and Fraser has joined the fray of this battle here for the final points position. Griglik as well, all over the back of Oshin, and Frankis getting a move done on Giovanni for P15. Also has Lakitu in that battle. Remember, those two Ferrari teammates came together earlier, and probably still a little bit of beef going on between the pair of them, especially after that. But with 3 laps left to go, this race is far from over. Gian has kept that DRS open this time around. I think, yeah, lap 25, we're going to look and see a move go down for the lead of this race, and even for P3 as well, because these guys, they're all so close together, and all 4 of them are fighting for this final podium position. I think the top 2, Coolman and Gian, it's just a straight out war between them for the win of this race. It's just whether who's going to get on the podium out of these 4. Is it going to be Kailu? Is it going to be Ruddy? Is it going to be Hazara? Or is it going to be Malia Pease? We'll only find that out in about 2 laps time here.
Yeah, Gian and Coolman were the top 2 in the first race. Of course, it was Gian and Coolman, and they didn't really have to do much. They just avoided everything else. They had a bit of a scuffle lap over Rara, but apart from that, it was easy going. It's been the complete opposite today. It's been a job and a half for them, and they have got Mariko is retiring the pits. Mind that, too late for a safety car intervention anyway. But yeah, we could potentially be getting the same 1-2-3 from the opening race if Gian gets Coleman and Caillou gets Roddy. It's going to be the exact same 1-2-3 as we got in the opening round. But we still got 2 laps to decide this, and is this the lap Gian goes with? Gian has 60% ERS. Coleman only has 25, so it'll be an easy move for him. He's keeps the ERS open. I'm getting a bit of audio glitch. I'm not sure about you. Always comes towards the end of the race, but yeah. No, I think so. It's going to be a last lap dash to win this race. Last lap, Gian, or can Coolman keep it cool to end things off? Who is going to win this one? Or will they both take each other out? And will it be whoever wins the battle for the podium? Anything can happen here. I thought Gian was looking for a move with the cops. That would have been insane if he made the move into cops for the win on the second last lap. But nope, it's going to be the. Is this going to be the moment he goes for it?
Let's have a look. I said lap 25, and it is now lap 25. He's using the overtake. He's going for this move. He wants to take the lead of this race on this lap, and he certainly has done. Gian's now up into the lead of this race with just over a lap left to go. Is the Aston Martin going to be able to hold on ahead of the Red Bull? The Red Bull's been leading for the majority of this race. Rara picks up a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to be losing out to Griglik at least and go down into P8. But Gian, yeah, as I say, he's now up into the lead of this race. He's now going to try and pull away from Coolman as much as possible. We're now on to the final lap of this race. And at the moment, Ruddy is the one that is holding on up ahead of Kailu, up ahead of Hazara, and up ahead of Malia Pease. But is Coolman going to be able to try and keep his cool and keep calm and collected and go for a strategic move when he can on Gian? Gian's going to use a bit of his ERS just to try and get a little bit further out on the corner. Of course, Coolman will have that DRS, so he'll be able to gain up to the back of him, but not going to go for a move going down in towards Brookens, or is he? He looks very close to the back of that Aston Martin, but just going to hold on for the time being. It's Kailu looking down the inside into Brooklyn's on Roddy, but not going to be able to go for anything. It means Hazara then tried to have a little bit of a look on the McLaren, but no sort of move going to be coming down at the moment. Kailu, again, he's even built up the ERS that he can to go or to try and eye up this move on Ruddy. Now though, Coolman going very wide coming out of Cops, and he's got the red flashing light on the back of his car. I don't think Coolman is going to be able to have the facilities to go for this move on Gian as they come out of Chapel. Now Gian had the much better exit, but who's going to get a better exit out of the top 3 for this final 3rd place position? Kailu's using that ERS. Roddy's using his ERS. He's swerving left. He's swerving right. He wants to try and go defensive. Kailu's going to go around the outside off Stowe. Rudy is going to try and hold it down the inside into Stowe. They both force each other out. It means Kailu's going to try and maybe go for any sort of move he can. Hazara also trying to follow suit. They're going to come across the line, and it's going to be Gian taking his 2nd race win of the season. Congratulations to him. It's Coolman in the 2nd, and Kailu gets forced out wide and goes and finishes in 5th in the end. Roddy will take the final podium position. Hazara finishes in 4th. Malia Pease ends up finishing in 6th. Griglik in 7th. Rara in 8th. Oshin in 9th. And Damien taking the final points position in the end. And I wonder if there's going to be any stewards inquiries happening with all of that, because that was a very interesting end to that race. But yeah, top 3, Coolman, Gian and Ruddy.
Yeah, it's been 3 poles this season for Alpine. It's been 3 wins this season for Aston Martin. So Alpine could do it on the Saturday, but it's Aston Martin who convert this. And I would suspect Jean is the championship leader now with 2 wins. I know he didn't score last week, but with 2 wins, I'd especially. Kai with 2 thirds and a 4th. Yeah, we'll need to get that verified. Who's the championship leader as of right now? But yeah, Aston Martin seem to have firm control on this championship right now, especially with Alpine's misfortunes when it comes to the race. It's looking like Aston Martin have control of this championship constructors wise, but with the drivers wise, it seems like it's all open between Gian, Damien, and Caillou with the 2 Alpines. If they can get it working in the race, they're definitely in this. Coleman, of course, 2 seconds, so it's good. It's going to be an interesting battle when we finish this race. 8 rounds to go, so a lot to come, but the Italian flag is out on the podium.
Certainly is. So congratulations to Gian, congratulations to Coolman and to Ruddy. The top 3 for round number 3. Caillou didn't manage to keep his podium streak of 3rd places, but Gian manages to pick up his 2nd race win this season. I still don't think, though, he's in the championship lead. I still think Coolman then inherits the championship lead, but there are your final classifications for this evening. It was Gian that took the win, Coolman in 2nd, Ruddy in 3rd. It says Caillou in 4th, but it was actually Hazara in 4th, who just left the session a bit early. So it was Hazara in 4th, Caillou in 5th, Maliapis in 6th, Griglick in 7th, Rara in 8th, Oshin in 9th, Damien in 10th, and picking up the final points position. Carl Scarrett in 11th, with Fraser in 12th, Jason 13th, Giovanni in 14th, Akito in 15th, Max Rowe in 16th. I think actually Frank Hughes was actually just in between those 2. So Frank Hughes, I think, was 14th, Akito was in 15th. No, sorry, 16th. Frank Hughes was in 15th. Max Rowe was 17th with the fastest lap he picked up in the final lap. And then, yeah, Dutch Missile and Marek and Darrow taking the final positions for this evening. And very, very close race overall between the top guys. But yeah, that was a very entertaining end to the British Grand Prix, I've got to say there, Oshin.
Yeah, and just to confirm, it is Gian who has the championship lead. He is on 32 points. Kuhlman is in 2nd with 29 points. Then it is Caillou with 28, and Damon has 23 points. So that's the top 4 as it stands, if I have that right. But yeah, definitely Gian is leading. He has 2 wins. He's on 32 points, and I believe Coleman, Caillou, Damon, that is the top 4. And yeah, very interesting race. I think there'll be a few serious inquiries, but I don't think any of the front runners were caught up in anything in particular. So the top few places, Hazara, maybe he might be called for that move he tried into his stall with a couple laps ago. Roddy and Kai may flag that it was an aggressive boost, so that may be flagged up. But apart from that, I think that is the standings. And next week it is Qatar for the first time in PSGL. We will have Qatar, and it should be another fantastic, interesting race, a very tight circuit. So with how much goodwill actually we see here, there could be a few more incidents here, since that track tends to have low bikes on it. But we will see in a week's time.
We certainly will. So thanks to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. As you say, we will see you guys in a week for round number 4 around the Losail circuit. Make sure you guys are checking that out. And obviously, big thank you to the PSGL's main sponsor of GT Omega. Make sure you guys are checking that out in the description below as well. But like I say, thanks to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. Make sure you guys are checking us out next week for round number 4. It's a very spicy one. But as I say, round number 4 around the Losail International Circuit.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. All here is through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. You know what we're now to the last couple of corners. shoulders now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jan Ortmeier wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.